All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, July 15th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, lots of stuff going on. Obviously, crazy weekend. If you have been living under a rock, you might be a little confused, but in any case, here, market's gapping up, and we have kind of like at least this is what it's being called, like the Trump trade, right? Energy stocks rallying, markets acting well, certain sectors are behaving somewhat accordingly. I don't really think it's necessarily due to Trump. I think the Trump win, the market was kind of discounting that already anyway, expecting a Trump victory. And, you look at XLE, it was already kind of inching up late last week anyway. These sectors that the people are talking about rallying, they were already doing that. Obviously, the leader, the big one, IWM up 2% again today. This is getting gamma squeezed above 215. And I think it could easily get to 220 tomorrow if they want to gap this thing up. There should be a lot of resistance up there. But ultimately, I think this thing can go to the 786, which is not that shy of 230. That doesn't mean it has to go there in a straight line, but you consolidated for 7 months for this breakout, so that's why it's able to have that big a move. And we're seeing tech pull back, so dispersion is favoring small caps right now. Anything that's hated is doing well. Bitcoin equities, Mara just took a big winner on this one today. Still holding some. Take a look at some of these other ones. CLSK, Riot, TerraWolf, Hut, Hive, they're all having huge days. Kathy Wood even up 2.2. So again, anything hated, anything that's heavily shorted is getting a bid here, and that's kind of what I've come to expect. But in any case, Trump stuff, does it add some geopolitical risk? Obviously, yes. There's an obvious yes answer to that. But we've had a lot of geopolitical risk anyway, and I don't expect any of that to really matter this week unless, something actually happens. But we are in Opex week. We should see a little bit of a floor, a little bit of a supportive flow. That said, there is a lot of resistance at 56.50. That's why we had to back off of that today. We backed off of it on Friday. We tried to break above again, and it got yanked back down. But if we were to break above that, this is resistance, this is GEX for Friday. If we were to break above that, we could get gamma squeezed up, easily into like 5,700. And if that happened by the end of the week, that would probably unwind into a pretty decent pullback. But right now, market's acting well. We had Powell speaking today. He didn't really say a ton that was anything different. Just kind of kept towing the line. 2s and 30s did officially uninvert, although they weren't really that inverted to begin with. The 2s and 10s are now only inverted by, I think, 20 basis points. Yeah, I think I got it right here. Yep. So they're almost, again, we've seen like 3 or 4 times it gets close, right? And then it doesn't. So nothing to say they can't pull the rug again. And also, every macro head that's been, a recession genius and has been wrong about it, seems to have forgotten that the 3-month 10-year exists, because they're really quiet right now about that. It's still inverted by 110 basis points, and it's not moving in the right direction. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. And honestly, I don't really care. We just trade the charts. So that's all that matters. But market's pulling back here. We do have a little bit of GEX in this area, around the 56.35. That's been sitting there all day. So that is getting backed off as we get closer to the end of the day. But volume very light here. Market should, be able to see some dips get bought for the most part, or pretty much the most of the week. But again, a little stretch here. We've made new all-time highs 7 days in a row. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and the last 4 we've also made new all-time highs, but we haven't had any follow-through, right? So we're basically the same. We're at the same spot that we were last Wednesday at the close. So it's not. We're making these new highs, but we're just a little bit gassed here. I also don't think there's not much selling pressure here. Look at the volume, very light. So maybe kind of like sideways to up. is kind of what I'm expecting here. But again, if we do have some sort of catalyst that can break us through 50, it should squeeze a little bit more. But right now, market's had a monster rally, and it does look a little tired. QQQ, obviously on the weaker side, up just 14 basis points with a little tail candle there on the daily. That is top heavy. We've talked about that ad nauseum, and that's getting flown into the Russell 2000. Diamond here, again, new all-time high, new all-time closing high, no problems. It's still on breakout. SMH here, down 91 cents. NVIDIA, down 1%. Broadcom actually holding up green. I think they did, yeah, their split is now active. So we'll see if that maybe gets unwound, gets rug pulled there. But SMH holding up, IGV holding up as well, but possible lower high there. I still think this can go to 92. I still think it will go to 92, but it may need to do a little bit of consolidation first. Not so much on the weekly, but daily, maybe at one or 2 weeks there. But IGV still very strong. Dow Transport's very strong as well. Everything kind of coming off the highs here as we get close to the end of the day again, kind of backing us off of that 56.35 wall at the moment. But very good day for the transports, and they were strong. Look at how strong. Look at this. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 10-minute. That's 140 minutes straight of upside this morning. Power move here. Nice breakout. So transports, strong sector today. 2-year yield, flat to lower, or excuse me, flat to lower. 5s, 10s, and 30s, all fractionally higher. And it's funny, they're trying to say like, oh, it's the Trump trade. The market's expecting him to win, so yields are up because he's going to spend a lot of money, and Biden doesn't spend money, So that's why I just think that the whole narrative's kind of just silly. I think this is what the tape would look like regardless. Maybe we wouldn't have had a gap up. Might have looked a little different, but I don't think this, we can blame this on the assassination attempt. In any case, 30-year yield up 6 basis points, possible higher lows there. The market may be trying to price in that September cut. It's going to be unprecedented, though, because I don't think the Fed has ever cut in an election year that close to the election unless there was a crisis. And I'm not sure about what this is going to do to this 30-year because I don't know. I think the bond market might freak out, but we'll see. And not in a good way. XHB up 27 basis points. That's still fine. BNQ made another new high, but a little bit of a pivot right there, kind of the minor pivot before a double top. That's still on breakout though. XLF up 1.2, new all-time high, new all-time closing high. Goldman up 2.5 off of earnings. BlackRock down a little bit, but XLF acting well. KRE up 3%. ABE up 2.6. Good moves there. Broker dealers new all-time highs. Huge move. Oil fractionally lower here, down 31 cents. So we're watching this for a possible lower high, but we're still above the green bar. So as long as we're above that green bar low on a closing basis, it's still bullish. I'm seeing some stuff in crude here that's interesting. If this can hold up here, and just firm up for a little bit longer, this has a chance to change the trend to the upside on all time frames. So I kind of made that observation last Friday. It needs to do a little bit of work. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a chance. That's interesting because obviously we're in a gen election year and we're into summer. Wisdom would tell you that's not going to happen, but we'll see. Keep monitoring it. Again, I'm out of the market in crude for right now, but I'll be watching it. XLE up 1 3/4. Again, everything kind of coming off the highs a little bit here as we get into the end of the day. XOP up 1.7, and then OIH, the big winner here, up 4% right into this pivot. Nice, getting back above 320. I just wish it would have gotten a little bit lower here for an entry. Same thing with XLE, but good move there for the OIH. CCJ backing off a little bit, kind of digesting that move from last week. No real problems here. Nat gas, new lows here for the Q. So spiking that double bottom. And this has not had a bounce on this whole, you can argue that this was a bounce, but it really didn't change the trend at all. It was like a bounce for a day and a half. he didn't reset any technicals by doing that. So basically into double bottom with no bounces. Let's see, it gets interesting if this can spike a little bit lower. If this is down a little bit again tomorrow, I think it would be interesting in that area. Dollar index getting a small bid today with yields up on the long end, and it's holding weekly support right now at 103.88. Gold having a good day, but coming off the highs, still up 0.25%. Silver a little bit softer, but still has a bullish inside bar on the daily. Platinum little tail candle here, kind of a long-legged doji kind of pattern, or a candlestick there. Nothing great or terrible. And then palladium here down 2.5. So maybe putting in watch W, maybe even if it can put in a higher low, you could get the V shape. Now you're into a 618 now. It's just tougher to do technical analysis on this because it's a very thinly traded metal, at least in short-term analysis. Copper backing off today down 1.7. It's right on that inside bar low there on the futures. So 4513 is the technical level that you'd want to see it stay above for a continued move to the upside. All right, Bitcoin here, very strong. So again, I sacrificed for everybody on Friday. So I just exited for a small gain, but it did have a nice bid over the weekend. Again, it got a pop right on the Trump news. It was kind of like a drop really quick, and then it popped. I can't remember where it was. It was right here. I still think it would have rallied anyway. I just exited it because it didn't complete the buy signal in the amount of time that I needed it to. So for me, it was kind of like 50-50, roll the dice into the weekend. Something happens. They can drop it like it's nothing because there's no liquidity. So for me, it was just kind of a risk management trade. Plus, I still had some Bitcoin miners that actually took some profit today on Mara, and still have another two. But yeah, good move there. This is your big level, 63.5 or so. 63.850 was that previous pivot. But if we can close above this one right here, 63.316, that negates that breakdown bar on a closing basis. And again, this chart reminds me a lot of XHB, right? Because you have that, I've been talking about this, right? Bear flag attempt, right? And I said, watch that. But on the weekly, right, what is this, right? Does that look like a bear flag, or does that look like a giant bull flag, right? Same thing with the XHB, right? On the, so down move, bear flag, down move, failure, right? But you just, bigger picture, it's just that big flag. So similar kind of setup there. But this is the big level. If it gets through that, 65.5, and then obviously up to the trend line. So Bitcoin stocks acting really well. Anything that's hated, anything that's shorted, look at Mara today, Coinbase, anything that's hated, shorted, ARK even up nicely. Small caps, obviously, fit that bill. This is what's going to work, for the next week, maybe even the next month. And then, we'll start to see how the market plays out after that. But right now, don't expect a ton of volatility this week unless we get a major, we were like this close to having a major geopolitical thing happen. Again, as long as the volume is still light, again, you see this, like dips will still be bought right there, kind of a failed breakdown attempt, liquidity grab as we get close to the end of the day here. It is Opex week, so don't expect a major breakdown at this current time, but at the same time, kind of looking a little tired here, maybe seeing some kind of like neutral to upside action for right now, but again, we'll see more so as we get closer to the end of the week. Anyways, guys, gonna wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.